Shalom to the 144,000 rest of the elect out. Shalom to you all. Make this quick. I'm going to title this video, why is it important for us to speak some ancient Hebrew? I'll say some ancient Hebrew. Because you can know your baby, when your baby's born, they don't know anything. Don't know how to speak, communicate. When they're, 2, 3, 4, 5, then they speak English if they're, raised up in an American standard English household. Now, you can't use big college words on a 4-year-old baby. I tried that. It doesn't work. Anyway, they know certain words. Does it mean that they don't know how to speak English? Let's say they know 100 words in English. Basic communication skills. 100 words. Putting certain sentences together in English. Does that mean that they speak English? Yeah. You got people that go to 7th grade, they drop out of school in 7th grade. In America, their English is limited compared to maybe a professor of some university or college that's an English teacher, a lecturer, college lecturer, debater. There's levels in learning any language, right? Got 4-year-old English, you got 12-year-old English, you got, you got different levels of English. When you're in your 30s and 40s, you went to college, a blue-collar worker knows less English or the English language than somebody that's a doctorate professor of English literature or whatever. But they all know English. They all know English. Or if the same thing applies to the Japanese. So, why is it important for us to know, speak, understand some, keyword is some, Hebrew? Let me just go ahead and play this. This is some simple ass woman. This is a beautiful title. Big goofball. I gotta start using that. Big goofball. Can't comprehend Hebrew. #pure. #language. Pure. Let me see. Let me go ahead and play it. Give me a second. Make it short.
Okay, so every Hebrew Israelite that's be in my comments, I got a question for y'all. Be honest, y'all be making up these names for God or no? Because I ain't read not there one Bible that called the people of Israel or God, which y'all be Yahashabat the Gashka. Like, where y'all be getting that from? But I love you guys though. Okay, so every Hebrew Israelite that's be in my comments, I got a question for y'all. Be honest, y'all be making up these names for God or no?
You heard she said y'all be making up. In other words, it's not Hebrew. It's like Pig Latin. You guys just made this shit up. Like Vocab Malone. He said, I crack up when every time he says it. He said Ariyah and his made up 12 tribe sign. Okay, I got a question for you, Vocab. Where's the real 12 tribe sign at? Where's it located? In Jerusalem? Maybe in Netanyahu's office, he got the 12 tribe sign up. Where's the original 12 tribe? And what does Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 16, that keeps coming up, mean? Because when you inquire about the 12 tribe sign, we got to go to Ezekiel 37, actually the whole chapter, mainly the 17 verse, which leads into the last few verses. It was like 23rd verse or whatever. So why is it important that we have a 12 tribe sign? And maybe Ron Dalton doesn't have a 12 tribe sign. Why is it that we say that so-called UFO sightings, UAP sightings, are actually chariots that angels fly in? Ron Dalton and others can't see. Our Israelites can't see it. Why do certain Israelites call the Lord Most High Yah when we call on Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. So we're gonna deal with the Hebrew more so than the 12 tribes sign. So what did she say? You guys and your made up, we just made it up. We got together, we gotta make up some Hebrew. Do you know that the small hats, that Hebrew is made up by a man named Yitzhak Perlman? Look him up. Don't take my word for it. Who changed his name to, what is it? What did he change his name to? Eliezer Ben Yehuda, and he wrote a dictionary called the English Bible Hebrew English Hebrew Dictionary, and I happen to have that book. And when you look him up, he made up the Hebrew. He made that Hebrew that they speak. They made up, and you know what he said? They used to say it on Google. They said he said that the Arabs are speaking the original Hebrew, and that he borrowed a certain amount of words. He didn't give an exact number. The Hebrew words that they use today in the Levant, he said he borrowed words from the Arabic. Okay? So if you're going to say we made up the language, but these people didn't, that's bullshit. But nobody takes Jake, seriously, or the prophets. A prophet in not too many words is not honored in his own home, in his own country, in his own town where he's from. That's what Yahweh Shai said. Nobody took him serious when he said, "I'm the Messiah." They said, "Let's throw that nigga off a mountain." So we laugh at this stuff, and then we move on. We see that she's not gonna make it. Now, if she can get lucky and get with one of the elect and be a part of his household, and she'll make it. If she gets lucky, she got a cross around her neck. So Jake, we move on. We don't go back. We don't bend over backwards. We don't bend over backwards to make Jake get it. If we see they can't get it, we just keep moving. After the first and second admonition, reject. Right? Let's listen to one more time. Now the answer is Isaiah 19, verse 18. 5 cities in the land of Egypt shall speak the language of Canaan. That's ancient Hebrew. And shall call on the Lord. So we're going to speak the language, whether we know 50 words, 500 words, 5,000 words, we're going to know enough Hebrew to call on the true name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Isaiah 19 and 18, one of my favorite passages. Isaiah 19 and 18 is a fulfillment of us being in the modern Egypt. Now, IUIC teaches it different. They don't teach that, because if they did, they would have to acknowledge that, yes, we're supposed to know the Hebrew. Let's listen to this again, and then I'm going to close.
Okay, so every Hebrew Israelite that be in my comments, I got a question for y'all. Be honest, y'all be making up these names for God or no? Because I ain't read not there one Bible that called the people of Israel or God, which y'all be Yahashavat the Gashka. Like, where y'all be getting that from?
Now, when you read the scriptures, you actually have Hebrew words in there written in English, like Zerubbabel, and there's ones that's I'm trying to think of some. Zerubbabel is one. Damn. What's this guy? Meshiveth is another one. There's certain Lamech, Methuselah. Those are not made up names. So what she tried to say was kind of trying to sound like she's speaking Hebrew. So, when you say we're making up names, you would never say it about the small hats, or they speaking a real Hebrew. Or really, how do you know? When did an angel come down and show Yitzhak Perlman how to speak Hebrew? Okay? Anyway, shalom on to the next shalom.